Most CIOs think AI will reduce cost. What they're actually deploying is a system where cost becomes harder to predict, harder to control, and easier to escalate. This is not a tooling problem. This is a financial model shift. Let's break it down. We are entering a structural shift in how technology is consumed. For decades, enterprise IT operated on predictability: licenses, contracts, fixed cost curves. That model is breaking. AI introduces a fundamentally different dynamic: consumption without clarity. What used to be a controlled pipeline is now an unpredictable flow of usage, tokens, and compute. And that introduces something most CIOs are not used to managing at this scale: uncertainty at the unit level. What we're seeing now is not incremental change, it's a deliberate industry pivot. Vendors are moving away from transparent subscriptions toward credit-based systems with opaque pricing. You no longer know what a task costs before you run it. And worse, your workflows can stop when credits run out. This isn't just a pricing model shift, it's a control shift from enterprise IT to the platform provider. This is where theory becomes operational risk. Teams are hitting what I call the weekly wall. Credits exhaust mid-sprint. Pipelines stop. Velocity drops to zero. Not because of engineering constraints, but because of billing constraints. And suddenly, your only option is an emergency upgrade. That's not optimization. That's forced spend. Now, let's talk about why this is so difficult to manage. The pricing model is decoupled from the actual work. You pay in credits, but the conversion rate is unclear. You don't know how many tokens a task will consume until after it runs. This creates a black box, where forecasting becomes guesswork. And for IT finance, that's a failure condition. What's even more concerning is artificial constraint. Workloads that previously ran at scale are now hitting limits much earlier. Why? Because constraints drive upgrades, and upgrades increase effective cost per unit of intelligence. This isn't just pricing, it's behavior shaping. And if you're not measuring it, you're absorbing it. This is where leadership has to respond. Traditional procurement, annual licenses, set and forget, no longer works. AI requires active financial operations, real-time telemetry, dynamic auditing, consumption controls. Because the era of flat-rate intelligence is over, and what replaces it must be actively managed. So what does good look like? It comes down to three capabilities. First, meter. You must measure consumption at a granular level. Second, audit. Understand how models are being used across vendors and workflows. Third, negotiate. Set caps. Demand transparency. Define conversion economics upfront. This is not optional governance. This is how you protect both cost and velocity. The organizations that adapt will look very different. They won't optimize for convenience. They will optimize for cost per outcome. They will operate in a multi-model environment. They will enforce vendor discipline. And most importantly, they will treat AI not as a tool, but as a metered infrastructure layer. That is the shift. And the organizations that get this right will out-execute everyone else.